So in the last video where we talk about the ads manager overview, I deeply talked about campaign level. So I explained everything that you guys need to know in detail when it comes to campaign level. Now that we've discussed everything that you guys need to know extensively when it comes to campaign level, I will be jumping straight to the ad group level right now because the ads manager basically has three stages, right? So the first stage is the campaign level, the other stage is the ad group level, and the last stage is the ad level. So I'm going to be picking any campaign randomly now. So probably let me say lead generation. So I'm going to be selecting this lead generation now. So as usual, always put it on manual so that you will have full control of your campaign setup, right? So click on manual. Then the next thing that you have to do is to give your campaign a name if you wish. But then if you don't want to give it a name, the option is yours, right? So come here and click on continue. So once you click on continue, then this is the second stage that we have to talk about extensively, right? So this is our ad group level when you are using a lead generation objective, right? So you see we have something called optimization or destination. So this optimization or destination simply means where you intend to take your leads to. So do you intend to take your leads to an instant form? So this instant form basically is just a form that your client fills anytime they come across your ad. So let's say you're running an ad as a realtor or someone who is into real estate, for instance, like you are running an ad and you want to get contact information of people. So if you want to get contact information of people, it's simple, right? So you create an instant form. So with this instant form, once people see your ad and they click on the city on that particular campaign, the instant form that you created will pop out for them. But if you don't know how to create this instant fund, that's not the problem. I am going to make another tutorial to show you guys how to create your instant fund and also how to use your instant fund when it comes to running an ad, right? So the first option that we have is a website, right? So this is like probably one of the most recommended option, right? So website. So this website basically means sending people to a landing page or maybe a particular page on your website. So and it is important that that page should have like a form whereby people will fill. So if you are using a landing page like you don't have a complete website, right, that's no problem. So all you have to do is to make sure that either your landing page or a section like a page on your website should have a form where people will fill in their information, because that is the aim of running lead generation campaign, right? So once people have filled the what is it called, the form on the website or on the landing page, you'll be notified immediately. Now one thing that you guys need to know is that before you can use a website as location for your lead generation campaign objective, it is important that you also set up a pixel as well, because it is the pixel that is going to be used to track these activities, to track these fund submissions that your clients will actually do on your landing page or a section of your website, right? So if you don't know how to set up pixel, like I said, it's still not a problem. I'm going to be showing you guys how to create your TikTok pixel and also how to use your pixel to run an ad as well. I will still show you guys everything in detail. So the third option I will have here is TikTok direct messages. So you can also send people to your TikTok DM directly. So that is what this is talking about, right? So you can send people directly to your TikTok message and they can send you a DM directly there. So this is also part of TikTok lead generation as well. And then we have instant messaging apps. So for these instant messaging apps, this means that you can send people to different messaging apps that we have, like WhatsApp, Messenger, and every other one that you can see that is listed here, right? But even if your instant messaging app is not listed here, but then you can get the URL of your profile, it is still possible using the traffic objective, right? So now let me show you guys something quickly. Now we leave it on the instant messaging apps, right? Start conversation on WhatsApp. Now come to where we have clicks. You are bidding for clicks and not conversation, right? Then the next thing is a event. So you see the list of the instant messaging apps that you can actually send people to. You can send people to Messenger, WhatsApp, Zalo, Line. Then if your instant messaging app is not listed here, but then you can grab the URL that people can use to send you a message, right? You can just grab the URL and put the URL here. So this is just what you guys need to know. And then the next thing is this advanced setting. So for this, placement basically means where you intend for your ads to show to your audience. So if you're running a lead campaign objective, your aim is directly for your ads to only show to people who are based on TikTok, because you want people who are based in TikTok to actually take action, right? So we also have further settings here. You see this advanced settings. So click on this advanced setting. You can see user comment, allow video download, allow video sharing, right? So you should allow users to comment on your video and also allow users to download and also share your video. Now let me explain something to you guys. If people are not engaging on your video or your video ad, your cost per result might probably be high because the video is not getting engagement. And if you are not into fraudulent activities, I see no reason why you should not allow people to place a comment or to share your video. Definitely you will want people to comment that, oh, this thing is good, this thing is working, probably for like a social proof, and also for people also to make inquiry as well. And if you're not into fraudulent activity, you still want people to share your video, right? That's why we have allow video sharing. So by doing so, of the virtue of people sharing your video, there's high tendency that your video is going to get to a high number of people, right? So I would recommend that you do not put off any of these three options, right? Which is a user comment, allow video download, and also allow video sharing. Please do not put any of them off, except like I said, you know the reason best known to you why you don't want to put it on. Then the next thing we have is our targeting. So you see that we have different options of targeting. So the first one that we have here is demographic targeting based on location. So you can actually target people based on different locations here in Nigeria, right? So let me click on this drop down arrow. So once I click on this drop down arrow, you can see that these are the list of countries that you can target right now with your TikTok ads, with your Nigerian TikTok ads manager account, or maybe a Kenya or Ghana ads manager account. I am not even sure if Ghana is available here at the moment, but these are the list of countries that you can target. So our TikTok ads manager has not fully evolved, just like Meta ads manager yet, because you know, like in Meta ads manager, you can target people in different states. You can also target people in a specific location. But right now, you can only target people based on countries that they live, right? So yeah, for now, it's a kind of difficult for us, but I believe that over time, they are going to work on it, and people can be able to target people in different locations, like sub locations, maybe city and even a center area, something like that in the future. Then the next thing is your age location targeting, right? So in this age location targeting, all you need to do is just to make sure to target the age range of people that patronize your business. So you don't have to target from 18 to 55 plus. It's not recommended, except on a scenario whereby people from 18 to 55 plus actually need your video. But in a situation where your product is basically needed by a certain age of people, I would recommend that you just target only that people. Now let's assume that my product is needed by people from 25 to 44, right? All I have to do is just to make sure to uncheck this and uncheck this as well. So once this ad is up, for instance, you see the age range here, right? So this means that my video, or sorry, yeah, my video or my ad is going to show to people from this age 25 to 44. So by so doing, you have filtered out at least people who are not your target audience, right? And this will help you in generating a high profile leads. So the next thing that you need to know again is your gender. So in this gender, you see that we have all, we have male, we have female. So if you are selling a product that is needed by both genders, you can put it on all. However, if you are selling a product that is needed by just only male and it's not needed by female, you can just select only male. So by doing so, you can see by your right hand side, right? So by doing so, this means that your advert is going to show to people who their TikTok profile is set to male, their TikTok gender is set to male. So people who their TikTok gender is set to female, they will not see your ad. And let's say you are selling a product that is needed by just only female, probably all these cosmetics and the rest of them. So you can put it on female, for instance. And if you're targeting female, people on TikTok that their gender or on their profile it's reading male will not see your ad. Your ad will only show to only female. Then we have another option here. I'm going to put it on all, but then, like I said, just try to navigate this around based on who is your target audience. So, if it is male or female that is your target audience, just make sure to select the right gender. Then, the next thing that you guys need to know again is languages, right? So, for these languages, I'm going to click here and I will type English here. Let me explain something for you guys. I'm in Nigeria, and Nigeria is the most speaking or popular language here in Nigeria. Now, let me use another scenario for you. So, let's say you are in India, right? And the most popular spoken language in India is, I think, either Hindi or Hindu, something like that. I don't know the right pronunciation. So, if it's here, let's say, let me search for it and see Hindu. Uh, Let me search quickly. Yeah, so this is the language here, right? So I'm going to select it. I'm going to deselect English now. For instance, let me explain something for you guys. You see, when I selected Hindi, you see my audience is still narrow because people who speak this language in Nigeria, they are very few. But now I cannot select, I cannot find the India here. Let me see if I can find India here. No, I cannot find India here. So India is not here in the list of locations, right? So India is not here. So had it been I can find India here, you see that the audience targeting will not, the location targeting will not be narrow anymore. It's going to be broad. Now there's something you need to know. If you are targeting people based on location and also the language those people speak, all you need to do is to make sure that your video ad is, or your video ad or your flyer is going to be domiciled in that language too. So let's say I am making a video in Hindi now, right? Then my language targeting also should be Hindi. If I am making a video in English, then my language targeting should be in English. Not that I am making a video, for instance, my video is in Hindi and I am selecting English here. So these people, when they come across my video, these people who speak English, when they come across my video ad which is in Hindi, they may not understand what the video is talking about, right? And by so doing, I have wasted money, number one. Then number two, I have also lost that particular person. So for this not to happen, I would always recommend that both your video ad and also your language targeting should synchronize together. Like it should be in form of English, English, Hindi, Hindi, Yoruba, Yoruba. So something like that. Just make sure to find a way around it to make it more make it make sense to you. So the next thing is spending power, right? So for this spending power, you just have to target people that have the financial capacity or have been spending a certain amount of money on TikTok over time. However, this figure is not available in Nigeria at the moment. So since this figure is not available in Nigeria or any other African countries at the moment, this is going to be difficult for you to use, right? So you just have to put it on all. You don't need to target a specific high spending power, just put it on all. So for this our audience, include audience. So once you click it, you see, if you remember meta ads, right? So in meta ad we have a custom audience, lookalike audience, and we have a saved audience in meta ads, right? So that is the same thing here, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys another video when I come to audience targeting, right? So when it comes to audience targeting, I'm going to show you guys how to create your custom audience, and also I'm going to show you guys how to create your lookalike audience from your custom audience, right? So I'm going to make sure I explain everything in details for you guys, and also how to select it when you are running an ad, right? So I'm going to show you guys everything. Then the next thing is to exclude an audience. So you can include an audience, and also you can exclude an audience. Maybe you're running an ad, right, and you don't want that particular advert to show to people who are already following you, because people who are already following you, they already know your product, and they are not like new when it comes to your product, right? So you want to acquire new people. So if you want to acquire new people and you are using this audience option, you may want to exclude people who have watched your video, or people who have or people who have been following your videos, or people who have been following your account, right? So you may want to exclude those people from seeing your ad. So once you've done that, then once your ad started running, your ad is approved and it started running, your ad is not going to show to these people. Then we also have an interest and behavior similar to meta ads, right? So in this area you can see interest, purchase intention, video interaction, creator interaction, hashtag interactions. Now you can click on each of them one by one. So for the first one, you see that we have an interest, right? So if you are into travel, you can click on this travel. You can decide to select everything in travel if you wish, but then let me click deselect it again. You can even narrow further. You can click on that arrow: hotel and accommodation, tours and attraction, travel agency and services. So if you're someone who is into travel agency and services, you can decide to select this. And you can also see that there's a drop down arrow here, which means you can still refine this further down. Now if you want to do that, you can see vacation packages. So you can try to target people interested in just vacation packages only. But then if your aim is just to target people who are interested in travel agencies and services, then you select this first option that says travel agency and services. Then if you are into gaming, you can select game as well: education, food, beverages, financial services. Let me click on this: financial services, security. So if you're an insurance company, you can decide to select this: the foreign exchange transaction, third party payment. So make sure to select the options that are most relevant to your business or your ad, right? So this is based on interest. So on your own, you can try to explore the list of options that we have here, and also try to select the option that is best suitable for your business. You don't just have to select randomly. Select options that are in line with what you do or with what you are trying to promote, so that you can get the right set of people to actually see your ad, number one, and also take action whenever your ad pops up for them, right? So the next thing is a purchase intention. So you can see that target users who are researching product and have an intent to purchase a service or a product from the selected category. Now click on this purchase intention. So if you click on this purchase intention, it's almost the same thing with the interest, right? So you can see people who are actually in the buy mode for stuff that has to do with education. So let me click on this: early childhood and preschool, primary school, higher education, overseas education, vocational training. So for people who are interested in going to school in Canada, UK, and the rest of them, and you're running an ad probably for or maybe proof of fund or something, you can decide to target them with overseas education. So there are a list of options here, just like this interest that we saw, right? So you just have to come here, go through the list of options as usual. I think I saw beauty, baby. Okay, this is beauty and personal care, right? So for someone who is into what is it called, for someone who is into skincare products, right? So maybe you're a skincare vendor. So as a skincare vendor, you can try to use this beauty and personal care, so that you can target people on TikTok that are looking forward to buying skincare products or spa or anything. I see oral care, hair care, wig and hairstyling, skincare, cosmetic, fragrance, feminine care, and the rest of them, right? So you just have to come to these options, then select the one that is best related to your business or related to what you do. So this oral care probably for dentists and the rest of them, right? Then we have video interaction. So people who interacted with a certain videos. So you can come here and select the video that is in line with what you do. Then people who interacted with certain creators. So creators in your niche, so you can try to target people who are interacting with creators in what you do. So if you're into travel, for instance, and you want to run an ad to target people so into travel, right, like I said, so you can select this travel, and your advert is going to show to viewers of creators who are into travel. Then you can click on this the select hashtag as well. You can target people based on hashtags that they are following as well. So by so doing, your ad will also pop up for them. So these are the things that you guys need to know when it comes to interest and behavior, right? So all you need to do is to make sure to select the right interest that is in line with what you do. It's very, very important. Select interest that is in line with what you do. Then we have device. You can also target based on devices as well. So you can target the both devices, which is popularly the one we have here is Android and iOS, right? So you can decide to target people who are using Android only, and also you can decide to target people who are using iOS only. But this is most recommended when it comes to app targeting. So if you are using a TikTok ads for app, right? So that is when I would recommend you do something like this. But then if that is not what you do, I would recommend you put it on all, right? Because if you're running an ad right now for maybe app installation on iOS, there's no need for you to target people who are using Android, because once they see the ad, they may not be able to install that particular app on their Android phone because of a compatibility issue, because the app is meant for iOS and not for Android. Now, if you are running an ad for app install for Android, for instance, and for Android phones, there's no need for you to target the iOS operating system phones, like, which is our iPhone, right? Because these people using iPhone, the ad is going to be useless to them, even though they may like the ad, right? Once they click on install, due to compatibility issue, they will not be able to install that particular they will not be able to install that particular app, right? Because it's not meant for iOS, it's meant for Android devices. So, but then if you're not into app install or anything that has to do with the app campaign, just put it on all. There another thing, you can also target based on certain operating system versions as well. So you can target based on you say Android 16 and above, Android 15. So it all depend on what you do, right? So you can target even a specific iOS version as well. So, but make sure that if you are doing any of these things, it has to be in line, strictly in line with what you do. You do not just have to target people, because there are people that intend to, like, okay, let me target people who are using iOS iOS 18. So I don't know the particular iPhone that is using this latest iOS version, which is 18.7. But let me just assume that the latest iPhone, which is iPhone 17, right, is using iOS 18.7 and above, right? So now let's say you are going to target something like this. Your aim will be like, okay, I want to target people who use this iPhone 17, like they have a financial capacity, right? Like probably for you to buy a phone that is worth 2 million or something, if you come across a certain ad, you should have the financial capacity to purchase that particular thing. So this is one of the ideology that people also use as well. So when it comes to targeting, you just need to sit down and refine or research about people who may likely purchase your product, right, based on the kind of devices they use. Like if you are using a phone worth 2 million plus, buying a product of 50,000, 100,000 from TikTok will be something cheap for that particular person to do, right? And also you can target based on connection type as well, based on the network they're using, which is 3G, 4G, 5G, and the rest of them, and also the career. But for this career, okay, you see the option is not available, right? So you can target based on the network providers that we have here in Nigeria, like MTN, Glo, and the rest of them. So okay, yeah, internet service provider. So you see Globacon. So I don't know why it's only Glo that is available here, but you can target based on orders, right? So if you're targeting based on order right now, then it has to be Glo, sorry, MTN, Airtel, and Nine Mobile, right? So you just have to go through the list of these options and select the one that is best um suit your need. Then the next thing that you guys need to know is our budget and scheduling. So for this budget and scheduling, you see that we have daily budget. We have daily budget, and if you click on this drop down arrow, you are going to see lifetime budget. So you can decide to either do a daily budget or a lifetime budget. But my recommendation is actually a daily budget. So for this daily budget, you can decide to spend like 5K per day. So you can decide to spend like 5K per day. This means that for every 24 hours, you're going to be spending a 5,000 naira on your ad, right? So you can also read the options here as well, that you spend an average of 5,000 per day and no more than you will spend up to 6,500 on some days, and for your average is going to be 5,000 naira, and then it's not going to be more than 35,000 naira in 1 week. So another thing is your schedule. So you need to learn how to use this schedule option. It is very, very important to your business, right? So for this schedule option, you can decide to start your ad instantly. So this start time and run ad group continuously. So if you select this first option, it means once you click on continue, you go to the ad level and you're also done setting up the ad level, your campaign will start running immediately once it is approved. But then, if you want to set up your campaign to start running at a later date or at a later time, I would recommend you use a plan start time. So click on it, right? So once you click on it, you can select the date, right? So today is March 29th, Sunday, right? And if I want my ads to start running probably on Monday, which is the next day, I'm going to click on 30th, right? Then I'm going to click on OK. So once I do that, the time also, I need to change the time, right? So if you want to change the time, come here. So this is the time. Let's say I want you to start running from 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the night. Let's say I want you to start from 4 a.m. in the night. I'm going to put on 4, going to click here, going to click on OK. So tomorrow, which is March 30th, by exactly 4 a.m., let me click on OK again. By exactly 4 a.m., this particular ad will start running and will start serving to my client. Now, another thing that you guys need to know again is, let's say I want to set up a start date and also an end date. This is possible as well. So you click on it, say start date and end time. Now I want the ad to start on a so date. Let's say I want the ad to start tomorrow, the one I just did, right? But now let's say I want the ad to start on Tuesday. So we want this ad to start on Tuesday and end on maybe Saturday, for instance. So let me search for Saturday. So we want the ad to stop on a Saturday. So we are running the ad for a 1 week, right? So the ad is starting on 31st and the ad is going to stop on Saturday. So this means on Saturday by so time, this is the time here. So we can still amend the time. So on Saturday, let's say by 5 p.m. 5 is 17, right? By 5 p.m. is actually 500. We want this ad to stop. Now, Saturday by so time, this ad is going to stop running. So that is what it means. Then if you click on continue, on Tuesday exactly 4 a.m. Nigerian time, which is West African time, this ad is going to start running until Saturday 5 p.m. This ad will stop running. Then the next thing that you guys need to know again is also day pattern. So for this day pattern, you would want your ad to run throughout the day, like you are not selecting any specific time of the day but that you want your ad to run, right? So let's say we want to select a particular time that we want our ads to be running. So this is from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. and yeah, the same thing, right? So if you want, maybe this is Monday, right? We want our ads to run from 00, which is 12 a.m., right, to a particular date. So to a particular time, rather, to a particular time. So you can see the time here. So this is from 12 a.m. 12 a.m. to another 12, this is 11 p.m. So this from 12 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is almost to 12, another 12 a.m. in the night again. So now if you want your ad not to run in the night, all you have to do is, you want your ad to start running from 8 a.m. in the morning, for instance. I can just come here. I want my ad to run from 8 a.m. to, let me say, 20 p.m. No, let me just say 5 p.m. So I want my ad to run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., for instance, now, only on Monday and Tuesday. Now that I want this ad to run from 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. only Monday and Tuesday. All I have to do is to just bring my cursor here, and I'm going to select like this. So this means that on Monday and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., my ad will run on this so time. Now, let's say Wednesday, I want my ad to run in the night. So I'm just going to come here, and this ad is going to run throughout the night, or probably, yeah, I'm going to stop it by 5, right? So on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my ad is going to run from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So apart from this time, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, anything from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. in the night, my ad is not going to run. So you can actually select this time and also the day, the week, based on your audience, right? But then I don't normally do this, so I would recommend you put it on all days. But then I'm just trying to show you guys that this thing is actually possible. So you can see the selected time period. So you see Monday, Tuesday, our ad will run from 8:30 to 18:00. But then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, our ad will run from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., and it will stop running for that particular day. So if you wish to do something like this, you can come here and tweak it further. But like I said, I don't want to do that. So since I don't want to do that, I'm going to put it on all day. So going to put it on all day, and we can continue from there, right? So for bidding, we have what is called target CPA. So this target CPA means target cost per action, or target cost per acquisition. So for this target cost per action, and this means amount that you are willing to pay for a specific action on your website, amount that you're willing to pay. So let's say that you are willing to pay 100 naira per each person that submitted your form, or each person that visited your website, or 500 naira per each person that visited your website. You can actually do this. However, if you're just starting a campaign, this is not recommended, right? Because you don't actually know how much you are going to be charged. So since you don't know how much you are going to be charged, it's not recommended that you set up a particular target CPA from the beginning of that particular campaign, right? So the most recommended method to using this target CPA is actually to allow that campaign to run for maybe 5 to 7 days. So within these 5 to 7 days, you must have know the average that you are paying for cost per action, right? For everybody that submitted your lead form, or for everybody that filled your lead form on your landing page or on your website, you already know the average that you are being charged, right? So since you know the average, that means you already have an idea how much they are charging you. So once you have an idea how much they are charging you, that is when you're going to come here and impute a particular figure here. So, but that particular figure should slightly be above what you are being charged. So, let's say you are being charged 500 naira per each person that submitted your lead form. I would recommend that you put it maybe something 800. So, the reason why you are putting 800 here is not that TikTok is going to be charging you 800 per each person that actually click on your phone or whatever. No, the reason is actually for you to give it room for like a breathing space, right? Because if you make it so tight, it's going to be difficult. But then when once it has a breathing space, the performance will become easier. So like I said, I would recommend that you put it something like 800. So with that 800, they can maybe charge you 600, 500, 400, depending on the time of the day, and also depending on the the several factors that are put into consideration in this target CPA. So once that is done, you can click on continue. So before I click on continue, I am going to highlight everything I have talked about on this ad group level, so that you guys will be so familiar with it, right? So firstly, you can give your ad group a name if you wish, but then it's recommended that you give your ad group a name, because a time will come that you may have two, three, four, five ad groups in one particular campaign, right? So please, it is important you give your ad group a name. Then the next thing is your location, right? Your optimization location. So for this location, this is the place that you intend to send people to, or yeah, the place that you intend to send people to immediately they come across your address. So you can decide to send people to a website or a landing page. You can decide to send people to an instant form. And like I said, I'm going to teach you guys how to create this instant form. So for this website, before you can send people to a website, you need to create what a TikTok page, right? So I'm going to be making another video to show you guys how to create a TikTok page there. And also you can decide to send people to your TikTok DM, which is TikTok direct messages. You can decide to send people to an instant messaging apps like a Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, and the rest of them, right? And also you can decide to for people to actually call you from your TikTok ad directly. This is also possible. People can actually call you from your TikTok ad. Then the next thing is placement, right? So for this placement, this is where you want your adverts to show. So as for this lead generation objective, the primary placement is TikTok, right? So that is why you see that we only have TikTok here, and we don't have any other apps available for us like Pango and the rest of them. So for this advanced setting, you see that we have a user comment, allow video download, then allow video sharing. So like I said, you don't have to put any of these things off, right? Because it's going to affect the performance of your ad, right? And also one thing I said is, if you're not into fraudulent activities, I said no reason why you should put off a user comment, that users should not, or your people who are going to be seeing your video ads should not comment on your video, or they should not download it, or they should not share the video with other people. You're looking for sales, right? So you would want people to share your video with their friends and family, with other people who are interested probably with what you are selling or with what you do. So I would not recommend you put that off, right? So for this our targeting, I talked about a demographic targeting. And if you're in Nigeria or any other African countries, your ads manager do not allow you to target people based on certain regions at the moment. You are only allowed to target based on country at the moment. Then the next thing is our age targeting. So for this age targeting, at default it was on everything was selected, right? But then I explained to you guys to target people based on their age range, right? So that you don't end up wasting money targeting people who may never buy from you, or who are not interested, or may not have the financial capacity to buy from you. I also talked about gender, right? So for this gender, you can, if your product is needed by both gender, you can leave it on, or if your product is needed by just male or female, you can just select male. If it is needed by just only female, you can select only female. Then but if your product is needed by the both gender, you can put it on all. And also for the language targeting, I explained that make sure to select the right language that your client actually speak, right? So, and also the video ads that you're going to be making should also be in that particular language that your client speak as well. So for this, I'm going to be I already selected English, and my video ad is going to be English. Now let's say you're targeting people in India, for instance, like I explained to you guys. And in India they speak Hindi, I think Hindi or Hindu. So you can decide to select Hindu here, and also your video ad should be in Hindu as well. So for this spending power, I told you guys to leave it on all, because this option is not yet available in Nigeria. So there's no measure of people who have the high financial capacity to purchase a particular thing right now in Nigeria. So just target everybody at the moment. And also we have a audience inclusion, right? So where you can target custom audience, lookalike audience, and I said I'm going to make a detailed video to show you guys how to create your custom audience and also how to create your lookalike audience from your custom audience that you created as well. And also you can exclude a certain audience, like I explained to you guys, certain custom audience, people who have interacted with your video, people who are following your profile. You may want to exclude these people from your ad, right? So this is possible. Even the lookalike of them, you can also exclude them, right? And for your interest and behavior, I explained to you guys, people who are interested in something, and then you come here, put it on interest first, go through the list of options here and select the interest that is best aligning with what you do. And also people in a buying mode, which is a purchase intention, right? So people who are in purchase or in purchasing mode of what you do or what you are into, just come here, go through the list of options and select the most appropriate one based on your business or based on what you do. The same thing with video interaction, like these things are self-explanatory, right? People that interact with a certain videos that are in line with what you do as well, put it on video, select talent, auto, nature, lifestyle. Just go through the list of options and select the one that is best suitable for your business. Now the next question that most of you may ask is, what if I could not find something relating to my business here? You can come here to search here, and if you search here there's still nothing that is relating to your business, you just have to leave this thing blank and move ahead, right? Then also talk about device targeting. So you can put it on all when it comes to this device targeting if you're not doing an app campaign. But then if you're doing app campaign, you can come here and refine this further. And there are scenarios that you are not even doing app campaign, but then you want to target people that use a high profile phones like the iPhone 17 and the rest of them. You can also do that as well. So you can go here and target them based on iOS, right? So for this iOS, let's say this iOS 18.7 and above are people who are using iPhone 17, which is the latest iPhone, right? So you can put it here, and your ad is going to show to people who are using the latest iPhone, which is iPhone 17. So this means by so doing, people using this kind of phone will have the financial capacity to actually purchase from you, right? So the next thing is our connection type, people who are using 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. So you can put it on all, but if you want to be safe, you can just put it on 4G and 5G. So by refining further to 4G and 5G, people who are on 3G, 2G, and also I would recommend you select Wi-Fi as well, because as I'm talking to you right now, I am browsing with my Wi-Fi. So you can decide to target people with Wi-Fi, but exclude people who are using 2G and 3G network, right? So then the next thing is your career. This is not available at the moment, and also your careers like in MTN, Glow, and the rest of them. Then for internet service provider, we only have Glow at the moment, but I believe that in future others are going to be listed here instead of this order. Then the next thing is a device range. I would not recommend, just put it on any price. Then for your budget and scheduling, your budget you can put it on daily, like I explained earlier. We have daily budget, lifetime budget. Put it on daily budget. Do not do lifetime budget. And also for your scheduling, so this is the option that it is as default for us, that your set start time and run the ad group continuously. So this means you'll be monitoring your ad, and anytime you feel like, oh, this ad I want to post it, or maybe you're out of stock, you can come here to post the ad manually. But then if you may not remember how to do this, you select this set start and end time. So this means your ad is going to run for from a particular time and also end at a particular time, right? So come here to this set a start time and run continuously again. Let's say I want my ads to start running from the next day, right? So today is March 29. I want my ad to start running from tomorrow, which is Monday. I'm going to click on 30th here. I'm going to click on, then I need to set the time as well, the time I want the ad to start running. Click on OK, click OK here. So once that time comes, the ad will start running immediately. If the ad has already been approved, then the ad will start running and start serving to people. Another thing I talked about is a day pattern again. So this has to do with a particular time of the day that you want your ads to actually show or serve to people. So you can click on this select specific time. So the time ranges from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the night. So you can select any of them. Let's say Monday, Tuesday, I want my ad to start running from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. is 13, right? So my ad is going to start from 5 p.m. to 13 p.m., which is 1300, which is 1 p.m., right? But then 2 p.m. is showing here. So this means that the ad will start from 5 a.m. and exactly 2 p.m. the ad is going to stop running, right? So, and also I explained that you guys should not do something like this because it's not recommended. Actually, this is just to show you guys that it is possible. However, it is not recommended. So just put it on all day, right? So, and if at all you want to do this, probably you might want to do it in the night, but then you cannot decide for your client when to see your ad. So there are people who might wake up in the night and we are scrolling through their TikTok profile, and they may come across your ad and take immediate action and buy from you, right? So that is why it's not advisable to do this day pattern, put it on all day. And also for this bidding, I explained that you don't have to use any particular value or any particular value or figure here when you're just starting, right? Because you don't actually have a database of what is actually working. So you just need to allow your ads to run for a specific number of days, like I said, 5 to 7 days. So after these 5 to 7 days, you must have known how much you are being charged per action, or probably per each person that submitted your lead form, right? So by so doing, you already have an idea how much you are being charged. And I made an assumption that if you are being charged 500 naira, for instance, by each person that submitted your lead form or submitted your form on your landing page or a section of your website, all you have to do is to increase that number. Let's say 500 naira, right? I'm going to increase it by 200 and put maybe 700 or 800 naira here. So the reason why you are doing that is just to give it room, just to give the TikTok ads room for it to breathe and also to work effectively. Because if you make it so tight, there are times that throughout 24 hours you're not going to get anybody who is going to submit your lead form, and it's going to affect your performance, right? So, but for you to put it on 700 or 800, that does not mean that TikTok is going to be charging you 800 direct. No, there are times that you'll be charged 400, 500, 600, 700. Within that, your average range that you have been charged or you've been charging before. So, this is everything that you guys need to know about the ad group level. So, for the last one, I'll be going through the ad level, and I'll show you guys everything that you guys need to know on the ad level, and we are done with this session. So once we are done with this session, the next thing I'll be showing you guys how to set up campaign using each of the campaign objectives that we have. So thank you guys. I know this video is long, but you just have to find the time, watch this video and watch it again over and over again so that you get acquainted with everything that you need to know about the ad group level of a TikTok ads manager.